Hey, what's up, everybody? How are you? It's me. Yeah, I know I'm a little late, a couple minutes late. The problem with me is that I have an allergy to with the cut grass. I've had it since I was a kid. So it depends on the day. It depends on the moisture content and which way the wind is blowing. But this morning was horrible. My eyes were tearing. I couldn't breathe. So I'm all right now. So I'm sorry about that. But it just took me a little bit longer to walk Lucy and some other things. And Lucy's priority number one. I don't know where she is now. She's mad at me or something. I don't know. Anyhow, how's everything going on? Well, you know, Donald, our favorite topic here, which is really not my favorite topic, uh, is promising an economic golden age, which has happened if you're in an oil company. They're making record breaking profits. Now he says, they should reduce the gas prices. Not going to happen. And he'll explain, and then the oil companies can explain it to you, but it's not going to work out right. It's happened, all right? In a lot of cases, it's local gas stations, to the transportation companies, and the transportation cost and everything dictates the price of gasoline. There's a whole lot of things. The oil companies can't just say, well, they can reduce the price to the station owners or something like that, but that's not going to necessarily reduce the cost when they're making more money than they ever had before in their lives. That's a shitty job. They used to lock the profits in at like a nickel or 25 cents or something like that. I forget what it was. A gallon. I think it was a quarter of a gallon at one time. And that was considered a lot. That was the profit that the gas stations in Livingston made off of the various oil companies that were in Livingston at the time. Citgo, Sunoco, Exxon, Mobil. I don't know if it was American or Mobil. One of the two. They were the same company. A lot of the companies merged and whatnot. So it's difficult. That's what Aramco is. Aramco is Shell, Exxon, Chevron, and two or three other companies, But Chevron's not a gas station you see around anymore, and they're like the number 2 oil producing company in the world. And you don't see a lot of Chevron gas stations around. So what are they selling gas to? So the last time I was in the United States, in Livingston, where I used to work at a Citgo station when I was very young. There were a couple of Sunoco stations, an Amoco station, a Texaco station, but there were no Chevron stations anywhere in Livingston. Now, I don't remember. I just don't remember seeing them anywhere in the northern part of the state that I lived in the Morris County area. So I don't know, how they could be the second largest oil producer in the country, which is probably the world. But anyhow, that's where the economic golden age is. It's not the first time this has happened. Every time there's an oil shortage or something like that, for whatever the reason is, the oil companies make a fortune. I don't know whether you can see this. I got a new phone holder over here. I can't turn around far enough for you to see it, but that's my anniversary present, which is what are we now? 23 years, I believe. My parents made 28 younger than I am, so I don't think I'll make 28, but we'll see. I'm surprised I made 23. Really, I am. Anyhow, back to the economic golden age. He's full of shit, and he's the only one that's he's making out like a bandit. It's close to $4 billion in like 6 months that he's been in office, 6-7 months he's been in office. Come on, folks. That's not, you're going to tell me there's no corruption involved? Please, He got paid for the pardons, and now he's trying to reimburse them with that friggin' cash cow we tried to put through. All right, now let's talk about El Nino. Now, as I understand it, I read an article about it this morning. Its effect is regional. It affects the whole planet, but only the worst parts of it are going to affect certain areas, and they're going to affect them certain ways. You're not going to see a lot of snow. You're not going to see a lot of necessarily rain. And I'm talking pretty much about the United States. Down here, we're just hotter than hell, and it's just a little abnormal. And I don't know whether that's got to do anything with El Nino. Of course, they say it is. But the storms and whatnot are going to be in the Pacific area, and that the United States hurricane season should be much milder than usual. And this goes on for a year, possibly almost 2 years. It's very predictable, and they do what benefits the weather forecasters about it is they're able to make long-range predictions based upon El Nino. They're able to warn people of droughts, flood seasons, droughts, which helps the agricultural world so that they know how to plant and whatnot. They could change their crops and whatnot based upon the temperature. So it does affect everybody, but it doesn't affect everybody equally. Now it's like I've seen bad weather down here where the closer you go to the coast, the worse it is, and you see animals dying on the well, that's because they don't have the irrigation to take care of them, and they don't take eating and whatnot. So they're dependent on grass and natural water, and sometimes the natural water isn't there. So where do you get the water from? I mean, they get the water from ponds and stuff like that rather than the river or something. And even the river gets dry in certain parts of the country, but here it stays pretty much the same. We're more like a tropical island. The funny thing about this is you can get a storm drop 2 inches of rain in less than an hour here. In 2 hours, it's bone dry. The drainage system around here, because we're on the top of the hill. And, if I learned this, my dogs taught me this. First Antonio and now Lucy's the same way. They teach me this. When they go out, because they don't like water. I live on a side of a hill that's like, let's say, it's about like that. Okay, from here up the hill is like so. Okay, you reach the top of the hill and then you drop off. The next incline's a little bit like that, but you go up about 200-300 feet from my house to the top of the hill, and I think the top of the hill is at 8,000 feet or something like that, around there. There are mountains higher than us around us. I just can't. There's no way up them. There's no walkway, and most of them don't even have roads in certain parts of it because they're like this, So that's why I can't understand how they catch fire all of a sudden. I don't believe in spontaneous, and we don't get dry lightning around here. Not here. Close to us, yes, but not here. So I don't know how much of an effect it's going to have on us. It's that we have, for whatever the reasons are, we have hawks that are hanging around all year long now, and they don't never do that. They only did that the first year I was here. There was a hawk that hung out all year long. Now there's a family of them that are hanging out all the time, which means the rat population is very high, and the cat population is very low. So we have to wait and see what happens there. I saw a possum got killed the other day, roadkill the other day. So that, there's a guy that was around a BB gun and shoots animals. I thought I got rid of him the last time. BB gun versus slingshot. I don't have the slingshot anymore, so I can't, take them out if I see it, because I'll take them out this time. I'll leave them, let them, rot. Something's rotten across the street. I'll tell you that. If there's something dead over there, now I don't know where it is, but it's an animal, because I know the difference between animals and humans. Humans smell a lot worse. Anyhow, El Nino is going to be an effect that's going to affect our food pricing and some food shortages, I'm sure, as it progresses. But you're not going to see blizzards and hurricanes. Not supposed to, anyhow. It's very predictable. It actually makes long range weather forecasting much more predictable. So it's a benefit of El Nino. What are we doing now? Now Janet Pirro is under pressure from Trump because she choked on the reflecting pool, arresting this guy for the reflecting pool damage and whatnot, and there was defective materials and whatnot. She didn't just make that decision arbitrarily. She was under a lot of pressure from the evidence that was presented by independent people and whatnot. She had no choice in the matter except to drop the charges against the guy. The guy wasn't guilty of anything. Trump's all upset about that, and he's thinking maybe he'll fire Pirro now. Well, he's got that other schmuck Blanche coming in now, so the Justice Department is screwed. It's no longer the Justice Department. It's Trump's little division of lawyers, So I don't know what's going to happen there. And then what else is going on? In France, this little village, they found over 400 live bombs after the fire went through. A lot of the fire is setting off a lot of these explosives. Apparently, the French countryside is littered with I don't want to say unfired ammo or misfires or whatever, or just ammo that was left, grenades. No bullets though. They don't find caches of bullets. They find caches of explosive ordnance. So that's pretty dangerous over there. So have to be worried about that. And I guess I guess Germany must have the same problem, but they don't seem to. They didn't have the fire that's exposing all this stuff now. All right, next up is the war on water in the United States. You got the Colorado River Basin is the couple of 2 or 3 areas are going to have to cut back 20% over the next 2 years. The upper region sucks up. Where is the lower region? One of the regions sucks up like more than double what the rest of the regions do in the waterworks, and they're being fined by water reduction. And I'm sure the Delaware Water Valley does the same thing. I used to when I used to fish the Delaware River, there were times when you did not want to be wading in the river because they opened the dams up to flow water down to the agricultural part of the state, the southern part of the state. And that was not fun. That water would come roaring down through there. And they used to do it at night when nobody was around, so you didn't have to worry about it too much, But that's a problem with dams, they open them. But Lake Mead is like 146 feet from absolute zero, where they can't pump water out of it. So things are getting very critical. And I think part of the problem with Lake Mead is that they opened it up to too much fishing and motorboats and stuff like that, and that just doesn't help the water at all. They use all kinds of water, those boats and stuff like that, recycling through the engines and through their toilets and whatnot, and the water just fucks up the water, heats it up too, So I have to wait there. The water's going to be a problem, and it's a problem down here. That's that's like gasoline. Gasoline is an unlimited amount. Coal is not an unlimited amount. You're going to run out of these things eventually, and we don't have contingency plans for when it happens. Because like coal, as it goes down further and further, becomes a different type of product. The more you dig out, you change the way it burns and everything else. Okay, gasoline's the same thing. Once you start to get down to the end of the field, you start to get a lot of garbage coming up. It's like the Venezuelan fields. There's a lot of oil there, but that oil is so thick and so heavy, it costs twice as much to refine, or more, at least two or three times the normal rate to refine. It's very difficult to refine to bring the gasoline levels. So don't know what's going to happen there. But water's serious. We waste a lot of water because we take it for granted. See, human beings, especially white people, especially the immigrants that came to this country, take everything for granted. They take that. They assume that every day. I'm like this, so I know. I turn on the water. There's no hot water. Or they turned the water off and didn't tell me. I go nuts. I'm not prepared for it. I don't know. If they tell me in advance, I prepare for it. But and I'm prepared for it now. But I still would only last 2 or 3 days with water or stuff like that. So maybe I'm checking out at just the right time. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I'm getting old. My arthritis is kicking in now. I don't know why. Oh, the humidity is, wow. There's either a fire out there or we got the humidity unbelievable. It's like foggy. It's like 80% humidity right now. All right, so listen, that's it for me today. I got 2 minutes overtime. Wow, people. So listen, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I have no idea if I'm going to be on time or not. And I'm not going to get upset about it. Because I have a life. I have a life. And we'll see what we're going to talk about tomorrow. In the meantime, have a great day. Try to subscribe to me. I need a little boost. I may have to go back to doing the other videos, posted videos, anyhow, if YouTube keeps giving me a lot of grief. I'm trying to pay them for premium, and they won't take my credit card. So what can I tell you? Meantime, everybody, have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.